Now, most professionals plan in two ways: big yearly goals that looks great in January and daily firefighting which takes over by February. But what's missing in the middle is a 90-day window, long enough to deliver something very meaningful and short enough to stay focused and honest. So, in this video, I want to show you how to run a 90-day career sprint. No hustle culture, that's not part of my game. No 4 a.m. fantasies, just one clear result that actually moves you toward promotion. By the end, you know why 90-day sprints work better than yearly wish list, how to pick a promotion grade 90-day result, and how to break it into 3 simple milestones, and finally, how to run a weekly sprint review that keeps you on track. If you've ever felt that I am busy every quarter, but I don't have much to show for it, this is for you. Welcome to Workplace Multiplier, a podcast for ambitious professionals and senior leaders who want to turn their proven competence into visible career advancing results without burning out. In simple terms, they want to win at work and in life. I am Tola Akinshilere. I'm a C-suite executive who has worked in Spanish, French, and English-speaking countries. Now, here's something I want to tell you. In senior roles, I've seen how organizations actually work. And this is not a secret, what I'm going to tell you. They plan in quarters. You already know. They review in quarters. They judge performance in quarters. You already hear they publish quarterly results. In addition to that, I also mentor ambitious professionals who are working hard and don't want to struggle to point to one result from the last 90 days that truly changed how they are seen. This episode is not about do 10 new habits in 90 days or grind harder than everyone else. You don't need a lifestyle change, not at all. You need one focused sprint on the right result. And that's what we're going to be focusing on in this episode. So let's start with why 90 days is so powerful. Think about this. A week is too short. Yeah. You can only firefight within the context of 5 working days, right? A year is too long. You procrastinate, and then towards the end, you build momentum and start rushing. But 90 days, a quarter, is different. It's how your organization thinks. It's how budgets and targets are often reviewed. It's enough time to start and finish something meaningful, which is very important. And from leadership point of view, the question is really simple. What did you move this quarter that actually mattered? If every 90 days you can point to one clear result, you know what you're going to become? You become predictable in a good way. Easier to bet on because they know you're going to deliver something every 90 days. Easier to argue for in promotion discussions. That's what this sprint is about. Not about doing more. It's about delivering one thing that counts within a fixed window of time that is within your control. So, before we talk about how to sprint, we need to talk about what you are really sprinting towards. Now, in episode 6, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the 4 traits of a promotion grade project, the kind of project that actually puts you on the shortlist. Your 90-day result is simply one of those projects shaped into a result that you can realistically deliver. Till episode 6, there's one thing I just want you. I'm going to give you the 1-minute version of what you can expect in episode 6. Just keep this at the back of your mind. A solid 90-day result connects to something leadership measures, whether it's revenue, cost, risk, customer experience, speed, delivery, and it relieves pressure for your boss and it creates visible impact beyond your team. And one final thing, it is something you can honestly own in 90 days, not help with. It is something you own. In episode 6, we're going to do deep dive into examples and how to scan your workload for this. Here, you know what I want to do? I want you to just keep that one principle in mind. Don't sprint on busy work. Sprint on the result the organization would miss if it didn't happen. Think of it as no, do a lot of things in 90 days. No, but hit one promotion relevant target in 90 days. Once you've chosen that result, we will build the sprint. So Now we're going to talk about 90-day sprint really is not work hard until the end. Here is an example of three simple phrases in a 90-day sprint. So, for example, month one, you might decide you want to focus on clarity and design for whatever it is. Month two, then you go into build and implement. And then number three, you're talking about locking in and improving it. So, what I'm going to do is I'm using it as a test case. So, let's unpack how to do this. So, for example, your goal in month one is pretty simple. You want to understand the problem properly and design a realistic solution. You know, most people actually skip into this. They basically jump into activity and then realize later that they misread the problem. In month one, you clarify what the current state of the problem is and what is really happening now. What are the numbers? What's really breaking? You try to talk to key people. Key people would include people like your boss, stakeholders who might be impacted by that process or result, people inside the process deliberately, directly. And then what you're basically trying to do, you're trying to design a simple testable approach, not a 40-day strategy, something that can be actioned immediately, a lean plan that you can actually execute in the next night, within the next 60 days. By the end of month one, you should be able to say, here's the problem, here is our baseline, here is the approach I'm taking, here is who is involved, and that's milestone number one. So let's move to month two. In month two, this is where you build and execute. No more talking, no more problem discovery. You know the problem, you're going into action. And depending on your results, that might mean something like designing and testing a new process. It might mean piloting a new way of working for a subset of clients or teams. It might mean building the first version of a tool or a dashboard or a workflow or running a limited rollout. The key really in month two is this: don't try to fix everything everywhere. Don't worship perfection. Perfection is just a way of just delaying yourself. Aim for something, a working version that starts to move the numbers and gives us real feedback. At the end of month two, you want to be able to say that, look, you have something in motion, you have early signs of impact, and then you can also gather feedback from people that are actually involved in what you are doing. And that's basically your milestone number two. And by month three, what you basically want to do is that you're trying to make the change stick and then gathering proof of actually success. Ask what needs to be in place so that this doesn't disappear after I am done. Is it documentation? Is it handover? Is it training? Or is it very much important, a clear ownership? Who are you handing over to? What evidence can I gather that this has really made a difference? Your impact. You need to be able to have things like before and after numbers and feedback from stakeholders. Concrete stories, you need to be able to do that. The whole idea here is this: you are building your promotion story. So literally, you can say that, look, over this quarter, we went from, you talk about the old state, to the new state, and here is the evidence. Here is how it has helped the organization's priority, my boss and the stakeholders, and here is what I led. Literally, at the end of month three, you want a change that is embedded, clear proof it mattered, a simple way to explain it, and that's simple. Your milestone number three, and that's the end of your 90-day sprint. You can adopt the philosophy of this for whatever it is that you work with. Now, in episode 3, one of the things which I did was we built your weekly operating system, which involves your focus time, your maintenance time, your messy time, and saying yes by trading but not absolving. So I'm not going to reteach on all that. You can actually go back and catch up on that episode if you haven't. For the sprint, all you need is this: make sure you have 2 to 3 daily focus blocks a week dedicated to your 90-day results. These are your sprint sessions. They could be anything from 60 to 90 minutes. You need to name them explicitly in your calendar. For example, sprint, reduce response time project. During that block, you do nothing else except just that. You drop these sprint sessions inside the focus time you designed in episode 3. So literally, episode 3, which teaches you, during which we worked on how you're going to design a sustainable week. And here in episode 5, what we're basically doing is we're looking at what it is you do inside those focus blocks when you're running a sprint. So if your calendar is pure chaos at this particular point in time, you obviously haven't watched episode 3. So go back to that and then you can come back to watch this. You know, the most important thing is that you're layering knowledge on knowledge and going into execution. Most people typically start strong in week 1. They lose the thread by week 3 and just can't explain where the time went by week 8. The antidote to this is a short, sharp weekly sprint review, not a live review, please. And it's not a journaling retreat. Just 15 to 20 minutes every week focused on your 90-day result. Use 4 headings, very simple headings. I'm just going to give it to you here. There's the milestone progress, your scoreboard, what's the result, the stakeholders, and the risk. And what I'm going to do is just to give you a bit of it, I'll go into a bit of conversation in terms of what this. So number one, milestone progress. You need to be able to ask, what did I move this week against this month's milestone? Am I ahead, on track, or behind? No drama, just reality. You don't need to start giving excuses. You are reporting to yourself. Number two, scoreboard. You need to ask, what number or evidence moved this week? And you need to find tangible examples. For example, if you're in customer support, things like complaints that has reduced, response time. If you're in operations, response time that has shortened. If you're in sales, more revenue that has closed. If you are in operations, maybe things like few errors, customer support, better satisfaction scores. Listen, if your results are not numeric, you can look for things like before and after examples. For example, we used to do X, now we do Y. This becomes the proof you will use in reviews and promotion conversations. Then, of course, let's move to number 3. You need to be able to ask, who felt the impact this week? Who still has no idea that this is happening? If nobody beyond your immediate circle knows, your sprint is only half complete. You need to think your boss's boss. In addition, you need to think about cross-functional partners. You need to think about your clients and your internal customers. Look, you're not spamming them every week by providing this progress updates. What you are doing is you're choosing moments to share useful progress. We're going to still deal a bit more into how you do that cleanly in subsequent episodes. For that, let's just stick with that. So we go to number 4, risk. At this point in time, you need to be able to ask yourself, what could derail this sprint if I ignore it? Maybe it could be that you have a key stakeholder who is quietly resisting. You always have people like that, right? Another team you depend on, which is stuck, you have to find a way of moving that. A technical issue that keeps getting postponed, you can't keep postponing forever. Write it down and then ask, what's the one small move I can make this week to reduce this risk? This is your weekly sprint review. Short, focused, repeatable. It's not a life journey or a life review, just something very simple. So let's zoom out at this particular point in time. If you run one serious 90-day sprint on the right result with clear milestones, with weekly reviews, with stakeholders who feel the impact, you end the quarter with, drum roll, you want to hear that, a concrete story. Something that you can say, I led this result and here is what changed. You'll have data and examples that really, really matter to leadership. People beyond your boss who can speak about your impact. A much stronger hand going into performance reviews and informal, how are they doing discussions? Literally, look, we're still going to get the opportunity of talking about promotion discussions in subsequent episodes, but literally, you're moving from I worked hard this year to let me show you what I moved in the last 90 days. That changes how seriously people take you. Literally, people begin to see you as a serious performer. So everything in this episode depends largely on step 1. And you know what that step 1 is? Choosing the right 90-day result. If you get that wrong, you can execute perfectly on work that doesn't move your career. And that's the reason why I created the free 90-day Result Selector. It's about 10 minutes. It walks you through your organization's number 1 priority right now, your boss's biggest pressure point, the projects you're already working on, who will notice if each project disappeared, and whether you can own the outcome in the next 90 days. At the end, you see, the end game is pretty simple. It helps you pick one promotion grade 90-day result and test it against a simple 5-point checklist. That result is what you plug into what we've discussed here, your 3 milestone sprint, your 2 to 3 weekly sprint, your 2 to 3 daily weekly sprint sessions, your weekly sprint review, your future promotion story. The link to the 90-day result selector is in the description below here. If you're really serious about making the next quarter count, you need to start there. So let's recap what we've talked about with regards to the 90-day career sprint during this episode. Number 1, choose one promotion grade 90-day result. Don't sprint on noise. Sprint on something that the organization would miss. Number 2, break it into 3 milestones. Month 1, For example, in this case, clarity and design. Month 2, build and implement. Point 3, lock in and prove. And of course, we move to number 3, protect 2 to 3 daily sprint sessions a week. Inside the focus time you've created from episode 3, you need to be able to implement this. And of course, number 4, run a weekly sprint review. Milestone progress, scoreboard, stakeholders, risk. And finally, number 5, use the result as your story in reviews, in visibility plays, in promotion conversations. You don't need to fix your whole career in a year. You need to own one result in 90 days and then repeat the cycle every 90 days. To pick that result once again, grab the free 90-day result selector with the link below in the description below, right? Yeah. If this helped, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of the series which we're going to be unpacking. Share this with one colleague who has been busy every quarter but really has not been sure that they've really achieved anything. In the next episode, we're going to zoom into something very, very specific. The one project that puts you on the promotion shortlist. We'll go deeper into choosing that project and scanning your workload properly. And I look forward to seeing you there. So don't try this. Once again, I'd like to close with this. Don't try to change everything in 12 months. Change how you show up in the next 90 days and let people see it. Keep winning at work and in life.